Well done. Live on YouTube, even as it starts. Nick, we start.
Okay, we're starting now.
Yes,
Excellent.
so yes, good. Thanks. Thank you everyone for joining this afternoon session. My name is Philip Isaka. I'm the General Manager, SIUKK. This evening, we are privileged to have Nick with us, from the University of West London. He will be the one taking us through this session. Before we start, I just want to mention a few things about University of West London. It is a vibrant and dynamic institution with campuses in London and Reading. That student at UWL will be part of a friendly and diverse community where your voice matters. Another thing I won't forget to mention is that University of West London is a member of University Alliance. That means that they are one of the 16 leading professional and technical universities in the UK. So without further ado, I won't want to take the spotlight from Nick. Just request me to take over the session and speak to us. Let's hear what he is
My
currently
pleasure.
doing this evening so that we learn more about the University of Portsmouth. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you very much indeed, Philip, for that kind introduction. And thank you to Philip's team at SIUK in Kenya. I encourage any student out there, not just yourselves online, but if you have other friends to visit SIUK and use their services, they can really help you understand the UK education system, the different universities that are out there, and help you advise you on finding the right choice for you. So what I'd like to do now is I'll share my screen and I'll talk you through a presentation that I've prepared just to give you an insight to the benefits of studying in London and choosing University of West London. So to introduce myself again briefly, I'm Nick Miller, and I'm the Senior International Officer responsible for Sub-Saharan Africa. So University of West London is located in the western part of London, as it says on the tin. We're very close to Heathrow Airport, just 20 minutes by London Underground. And the great thing about being in this part of London is that it's a more of a residential area. There's a lot of commerce happening in West London because of the logistics of being near the airport. And there are a lot of multinational companies based there. So this is one of the reasons why we describe ourselves in our tagline as being the career university, because we're preparing you to obviously obtain a degree, but gain skills that are relevant to the workplace. So our campus is in Ealing, which is on the Piccadilly line and on the new Elizabeth line, for those of you who are already familiar with London. So it's very well connected with the central part of London. So to get to, let's say, Buckingham Palace or Oxford Street, you know, the main tourist destinations in central London, it's only between 20 minutes and 25 minutes, depending on where you want to go. And transport in London is just getting better and better all the time. It's extremely convenient and reliable. So we have two main campuses at University of West London. This is the main campus, which we call St. Mary's Road. And it's actually quite large for a London-based campus. It's always been a centre of education. It was initially a school, the front part of the building, and then over the years we expanded and it became Ealing College of Arts in the 1960s. Then we evolved into Thames Valley University, but we rebranded as University of West London in the early 2000s. And we have invested a huge amount of money in the campus facilities and the resources. So if you're a student choosing to come to UWL, you are going to enjoy first class facilities and a really pleasant environment to focus on your studies. So the campus is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's really convenient if you're working on important assignments that need to be in for certain deadlines. I took this photo myself, I think at like 10 o'clock at night before I was going to the airport. So I really like that fact that it's the building is always open to our students. We have other buildings around the locality, and we also have a small campus in Reading, which is like west of London. That's for like nursing and healthcare. We have a drama and arts studio within walking distance, and we also acquired Ruskin College in Oxford. So we run some postgraduate and some short courses up there in Oxford. So as a university, we're always evolving, is expanding all of the time. So this is the other campus. So this is what we call the Paragon. Now, the Paragon campus is primarily used by our nursing, midwifery, paramedics students. And the top 3 floors of that building are a simulation of a UK hospital. We even have a London ambulance parked up on the top floor there. It's quite incredible. The rest of the floors is occupied by accountancy, finance, some of the business related areas, but there is some crossover. So some of the business students actually come to the main campus at St. Mary's Road as well. So if you have to commute between the 2 buildings, there is a complimentary bus service which operates every 15 minutes. It also drops students at the local train station, Ealing Broadway. So Ealing itself, as I mentioned, it's more of a residential area, so it's a little bit quieter and calmer. So there's less traffic than what you would get if you were studying in central London. It's got lots of green spaces, so you can have access to nature very easily, but there's a plethora of bars, restaurants, theatres, cinemas, whatever you need, you can get that in Ealing. And as I mentioned, we're very closely linked to local employers, and obviously you're coming to study for a degree. We want you to have a successful career. So that can begin from day one when you arrive with us, because our campus is located within 15 miles of most major like global companies. And you can see with the likes of Disney, Sky Television, Diageo, they've all got UK European headquarters very close by to the campus. And we invite these employers in to meet our students. We have various careers days, so it's great for networking and to understand what employers are looking for in the job market. Definitely one of the main advantages if you are choosing to study in London is the fact that it's the commercial economic heartbeat of the UK. So you get that benefit of being within the job market. Okay, so this is what the campus on St. Mary's Road looks like inside. We call this the heart space. So it's the communal area where you can meet the academics and other students. We've got a cafeteria in there, and at the back of this photo you can see the 3 floors are occupied by our library. So we have a quiet area for independent study, and then we have an area where it's more designed for collaborative study with group work with other students. So it's really nice facilities. And then we have our own in-house radio station. So above there to the left, we've actually got a professional radio
Haya, na ni
studio.
live stream.
And so, yeah, So these are the two main campuses where you would be based. Here's some other images just to give you an insight. So it's a state-of-the-art building, very clean, modern lines. We have a very good track record for environmental sustainability. So we have solar panels to absorb all of the heat during the summer, and we store all the energy in underground coils. We have geothermal heating system, so it's really first class in terms of an environment. We have numerous facts and achievements. I think one of the main differences between a modern university and a Russell Group university, you know, the likes of the top sort of 20 universities in the UK, is that the modern universities like ours, we tend to invest more in support services for students, particularly international students. You're never left on your own. So we've always got really good accreditations for student support, student satisfaction,
Yeah.
and
It's, I don't think it's on any.
And we're also carving out a reputation for research. So we have a number of opportunities for PhD students who are looking forward to pursuing PhD with us. We have some funding opportunities for that. We have approximately 17,000 students at our university, and of which 18% are international. We've got lots of nationalities represented, of which I'd say we've probably got about 20 Kenyan students with us at the moment, and we're very, very keen to expand upon that in the near future with your help. One of the great things about our university, you know, we've got a very strong reputation in some academic areas. In particular, I would say music. If there are any musicians amongst you, you might already be familiar with the London College of Music exam board. So if you take piano or violin, you will be inevitably taking some sort of examination to record your level of ability. So we own that. That's actually part of our university. And so as a consequence, we've got like a very impressive alumni of working musicians, performers, producers who have been through the doors of University of West London. Most famous of all is Freddie Mercury, the lead singer from Queen, who's now late. The gentleman in the middle is Alex the Kid, is a very well-known producer who's worked with Rihanna and Eminem. And we've got other faculties to mention. Of note, we work closely with the National Health Trusts in Northwest London and Reading, Berkshire. So we have a wide range of courses in the nursing healthcare profession. I find from Kenya, one of the most popular choices is a Masters of Public Health, and also we offer an MSc in adult nursing with pre-registration. They are very, very popular. Computing and engineering, we're doing subjects like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, computer software engineering. We've got a school for creative arts, media, fashion, branding, imaging, and we have a culinary arts school. So again, harking back to our link to Heathrow Airport, we have culinary arts, event management, airport management, and we even offer pilot training as well. We have our own flight simulator on campus, and we train British Airways pilots, and also a low-cost airline called Wizz. So we work on projects with them. And of course, our business school. So our business school is named after Claude Littner. Now, Claude Littner is quite well known in the UK as being an advisor to Sir Alan Sugar. So there's a BBC TV show that you might have seen called The Apprentice, and he was a regular character on that show. Claude Littner's heavily involved in our business school and we have our own business enterprise hub. So we're there to incubate like small and medium-sized business enterprises. So students with business ideas can come forward and we can give them the supports that we need. We have a law school, so we're offering obviously an LLB in law, and then at master's level, law in intellectual property, finance, about 3 or 4 areas. We've got a mock courtroom on campus as well. So yeah, just some more images of some of the courses that we offer. That's the Business Enterprise Hub. We do a lot of work within the food industry, so we've actually developed some interesting food brands. Push is a vegan chocolate brand. We've launched products like crickets, which are a popular snack in Southeast Asia. So we've coated them in various sauces, and you can buy these in UK supermarkets. So it's just to emphasize that we're very, commercially driven as a university, and I think students would really get that sense of being a part of, a career-based university. So if you're studying with us, you're going to need somewhere to live. Now, you have to be prepared. London is extremely expensive. It's one of the most expensive cities in the world to live. Our accommodation, we have numerous buildings located around the area. So you're looking at commuting between a 20-minute walk and a 40-minute journey on public transport. So our accommodation ranges from shared rooms, single rooms, en suites. So it can go from anywhere between £800 per month to £1,200 per month. It's not for everybody, but because it's expensive. But one of the advantages of taking accommodation through our university is there are no hidden costs. It's a flat fee, so all of your bills are included. You have Wi-Fi. There's a fully equipped gym on site at each accommodation building, and you've got 24-hour support. If you decide that you want to find your own more affordable accommodation, then we can give you support with that. We have a dedicated accommodation team who can help you before you arrive. But that's one of the factors to consider when you're looking at London. There's lots of advantages, but the disadvantage is accommodation. Availability of accommodation is not really the issue because London is quite a transient city, so there's always rooms available, but it's just expensive. This is what some of our rooms look like. So they're really nice, standard, very comfortable, convenient, and you're with other students, so it's great to mix and make friends easily when you're mixing with fellow students from the university. So one of the other important aspects that I've touched upon already is we have a really strong careers service. So we have our own employment agency on campus called Talent Bank. So as a student in the UK, you're allowed to work on your visa for 20 hours per week during the semester. And then outside of the semester, for example, at Christmas or Easter, then you're allowed to work full-time. And then at the moment, we have something called the graduate route visa. So after you've graduated, you're allowed to stay in the UK for up to 2 years and work full-time to gain some skills and experience and some money. There's a lot of information in the news about this being amended, reduced, taken away. Nothing is conclusive, so please don't believe everything that you read. An announcement on the graduate route visa is expected in May, but please bear in mind that the UK is just going through about to go through a general election, so the present government their decisions and policy may not stick moving forward. Just coincidentally, ironically, the Home Secretary for the UK government is a gentleman called James Cleverly, who's involved in the decisions making around the visas, etc. And he's a graduate of University of West London, so I hope he doesn't make any stupid decisions. So anyway, our career service is there to help you, and it's for life as well. So even after you graduate, if you find that you're in between jobs further down the line, a few years down the line, as a graduate, this is a lifelong support service that you get as being one of our graduates. So tuition fees, I'll run through this as clearly as possible so that you understand. All of our courses are priced the same, with a few exceptions. So if you're an undergraduate student, our fees are £16,250 per year. We have intakes in September and January for undergraduate courses. If you haven't completed 13 years of education and you require a foundation year, then we offer foundation years at the same price, and they are integrated into your degree course. So you're not going, if you go to one of the pathway providers that are out there, you're doing like a more generic sort of foundation course. But if you come to UWL, it's integrated into your degree, so you wouldn't know any difference from the actual degree itself. Postgraduate, so we have master's programs, 17,250, and the only exception is the MBA, which is 18,500. So for students who've got a third-class degree, we will accept you, but you will need to complete what's called an extended program, which is like a pre-masters, which lasts longer. So our intakes are generally September and January. However, this year we had an additional intake in April for public health master's degree, MBA, and for cybersecurity masters. It's not confirmed yet, but there is talk that we may introduce another intake, possibly in July and definitely in April 2025. Just on course fees, I will mention, because this always will come up, sorry. We do offer scholarships. It's not the most generous scholarship scheme in the world. It's called the International Ambassadors Scholarship. So it's £1,000 basically. So once you've applied, once you receive an offer of a place on our course, there is a link on our website, which I can share with you. And you apply, you write a support statement about why you deserve the scholarship, explain, how that's going to help you, why you want to study at the university, and what you hope to do with your career in the future. Normally we get about 300-400 applications, but realistically we give away 25-30 scholarships. So you've actually got a really good chance of getting one. It's just worthy putting in a bit of effort, because a lot of the ones that we get are pretty weak. So we expect maybe 1 or 1.5 sides of A4, just explaining, what makes you a strong candidate. It's not just about your academic strengths. We're looking for, your personality, your drive and motivation to study. So even if you don't have the top grades, you've still got a good chance of getting a scholarship. And also, once you've achieved the scholarship, there's a chance for you to get involved with the university and work on various projects with our internal team, and it's really good to build your CV that way. So for example, we had one student from Nigeria who was interested. He was a digital marketing student, and he worked on some projects with us, and he ended up getting a paid part-time position in our marketing team. Okay, so deposits. So when you've decided that you want to come to our university and you are given an offer and you've met all the conditions, one of the conditions is we require a deposit. So the deposit for students from Kenya is generally 50% of the course fees, which is quite high. I do appreciate. But we are flexible with deadlines for paying deposit and applying for CAS. We do issue like official deadlines, but they are very soft deadlines. So we try to be as flexible and accommodating as possible. So if you're in that scenario and you are a late applicant, please reach out and talk to us. We can help you if you need a backup plan if UWL isn't your first choice. that's not relevant, but how to apply. So we have a portal on our website. So there's two ways of applying, really. The first way, which I would encourage you to do, is get SIUK, go and visit their office and get your counsellor to apply on your behalf on our portal. They will have their own login and they can see your application and the status. The other way is you can apply yourself through our website, and we can link you to SIUK retrospectively afterwards. So you kind of register your email, password, and then it's a portal. So you're uploading documents. So what we need is if you're a postgraduate student, we're looking for your degree certificate, your degree transcripts, a CV. We want to see what you've been doing work-wise in education, make that as comprehensive as possible. And we're looking for 2 references. Now, these have to be written letters of references, character references, ideally 1 academic and 1 work-related reference. You can't just give the names of an organization. We won't contact them. You've got to produce the letter, and it has to be recent. It has to be written within the past 6 months. Other documents required, obviously, your passports. And then for undergraduate, we need just 1 reference and any school transcripts. Now, one condition for university entry is English proficiency, which is kind of embarrassing to ask a Kenyan to prove that they can speak English when, English is the majority language, but it's just something we have to do for UKVI. So you don't have to provide an IELTS test if you don't want to. We accept the Kenyan secondary school certificate of education. So if you have one of those that shows that you've passed your English grade C or above, the equivalent of GCSE grade C and above, then that's perfectly acceptable. Just send a copy of that to us and that will satisfy that entry condition. But if you have any questions about documents and what's required, you can reach out to me anytime. My contact details I've left in the chat. So some of the considerations that we take into consideration are, study gaps. We really don't like it if somebody's left school and been in the job market for 10 years and then suddenly wants to come and do their first degree with us. That puts you in a more high risk category. So we limit students who are doing their first degree to like minimum of 2 years, possibly 3. So it's always good to explain why there's been a gap, why you didn't enter university directly from school. And then for postgraduates, again, study gaps, it's really important to provide evidence of what you've been doing with your time. So normally there is a gap between finishing a degree and starting a master's degree. The maximum that we really allow is 5 years. If for some reason it's longer than that, don't panic. Just talk to me, because it could be that you've been working and you've been doing some like continuing professional development. You might have been doing some studying for some short courses. So there's ways you can evidence that, and I can support your case with our compliance team. But generally the rule is 5 years. If you've got an HND, we won't accept you on a master's degree. You've got to have an undergraduate degree. Other things to consider is if you've applied before to the UK or any other country and you've had a visa rejection, please let us know. Just be transparent, because we will find out, because we have access to all the UK VI records, so we can check your immigration history to the UK. It's not the end of the world, but it's we need to know if you've had a visa rejection and the reason for that. Dependents, as you're probably aware, you can no longer take dependents with you to the UK if you're on a master's program. But if you're a PhD student doing academic research, it's allowed. The situation may change with the new government, but that's how it stands at the moment. I apologize. I've seen firsthand how this can disrupt families, and it seems a really unfair policy. But unfortunately, we have to navigate this at the moment. We don't require pre-CAS interviews for students from Kenya, because Kenyan students are lower risk category. So if you're not in class and you've got free time, we've got a students' union. It's very active. There's various clubs and societies available that you can get involved with. You can create your own club and society, whatever might interest you. We have a fully equipped gym, sports center on site there. You can see on the top left-hand corner. So, it's a really good value gym membership for 1 year. I think it's like £100 for the year for students. And there's always like fitness events, classes going on there. It's a great way to mingle. And also there's part-time jobs in there. So if you're quite athletic and you like the gym, you can get a part-time job working in there. For football fans out there, you might be interested to know that University of West London have a partnership with Brentford Football Club, who are a Premiership football team. So we are one of the main sponsors of their stadium. So if you see a Brentford match on TV, you will see University of West London logos everywhere. So we use their facilities for event management, sports facilities for practice. So it's a really nice relationship, and let's pray that Brentford stay up in the Premiership this year, because they're not doing so well. Anyway, I've already talked about the accommodation. What I'd like to do now is just leave you with a video which provides you with a tour of the campus. And when we've concluded that, then I can open the floor to some questions. It's probably better if you just type the questions in the chat, and then myself and Philip and my colleagues at SI UK can help answer them.
Oh, yes.
So enjoy the video. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay.
Welcome to the University of West London. My name's Nicole, and I'm going to give you a quick tour around the Ealing campus, so you can get a better understanding why people like me love UWL. The Ealing campus is really well connected, and it's only 20 minutes from central London, but it's also a wonderful, leafy, green community. So you get all the benefits that London has to offer, whilst also enjoying the many open spaces in the area. Here at UWL, we think the support you need in order to succeed is so important. And that's why we make it the first thing you see when you set foot on campus. Here you can access loads of support and advice on things like housing, finance, health, and your own well-being. You might never need help, but it's always good to know that it's there. But our support is not just for when you need help, it's for making the most of your time at university, so you can reach your full potential. Our study support team is here to help you work smarter, not just harder. They offer masterclass workshops, so you can build the skills to excel in your studies. And there's a reason why we're known as the Career University. We support our students in finding paid work and getting relevant work experience. Long before you graduate, our careers team will support you in preparing for the world of work and a rewarding and successful career. This is the Heart Space, the main hub of our Ealing campus. Here you can meet friends, attend events, and bump into people you know. It was created as a part of our £150 million transformation of the campus that has created an inspiring social and learning environment for students. Above me is the library, named after Paul Hamlet, who believed that everyone should be given the support they need in order to reach their full potential. And that sums up what UWL is all about. The library is not just a part of our campus where a wide variety of books and other learning materials are. It's also an amazing learning space with access to hundreds of computers. Each floor is set up differently, so you can study in a way that suits you. So you can choose from collaborative studying, quiet study, or silent study. The library is open 24 hours, 7 days a week during term time. And the library staff are incredibly knowledgeable and are always there to help you. The main teaching area is located just off the Heart Space. Across the campus, there's a whole variety of lecture theatres, seminar rooms, and specialist facilities to help you gain the skills employees need. Down the corridor, you can find our £250,000 flight simulator. That's so good, British Airways use it. Upstairs, you can find our new biomedical labs, green screen rooms, and music production suites. In fact, the whole campus is jam-packed full of amazing facilities, like our professional radio studios, mock courtroom, and hospital simulation centre. Whatever you're planning to study, there are facilities to help you build your skills for a future career. At UWL, the students really do come first. The university takes pride in listening and responding to what students have to say. That's why UWL was voted University of the Year for Student Experience. The Student Union plays a big part in that. They help to create a sense of community, enabling students to socialise both within their course and across the university. With nearly 50 clubs and societies, you're bound to meet people with similar interests as you. And if you're into sports and keeping fit, our brand new on-campus sports centre includes 2 gyms, 2 large fitness studios, and spacious changing facilities. Many of our sports teams even have access to professional quality facilities. And our partnership with Premier League club Brentford FC provides an exciting connection to elite level sport. I hope you enjoyed that quick tour of UWL at our Ealing campus. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this tour, is that people at UWL care. They care about you and they care about doing their best for you. And that makes all the difference. And it's why I love UWL. If you would like to find out more, sign up for an open day.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope that gives you a general insight to what we can offer. So just to reiterate the key points really about UWL, you know, we're career focused, we're London based, and you know, we're very modern as a university, and we offer excellent support for international students. So I'd like to open the floor now really and answer some of your questions. If you don't feel in a position to ask the questions right now, you're welcome to contact me privately. I've left my contact details in the chat. I'm happy to have a one-to-one chat with you, WhatsApp call, or whatever it is, and more than happy to help you decide. Okay, so Philip, over to you.
Yes. Hello, Nick. How are you? Thank you for the presentation. I hope I'm clear enough. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay. So I'll start with the first question from somebody called Otieno. I'm keen on a master's in public health. Kindly advise on the requirements. And he says, he continues to say he has a bachelor's in science, second upper, currently working in Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya. This is the largest refugee camp, I think, in Eastern Central Africa.
Yeah, sure. So I'll talk generally about entry requirements for our courses now. So for an undergraduate course, our entry requirements are the equivalent of A-level BBC, grades BBC. So as I mentioned, if you've completed high school in Kenya, you're welcome to apply. If you've in the UK, we complete 13 years of education at school, so you must have that 13th year. If you don't have that 13th year, then you're required to do a foundation year for our degree entry. For master's programs, we're looking for a good undergraduate degree that is obviously first class, 2-1, 2-2 is acceptable. If you have a third class degree, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we can still accept you. However, we would require you to do what is called an extended course, like an extended master's degree. So it will take 15 months to complete the master's rather than 12 months. So the cost is obviously a little higher. So that's essentially the entry requirements. Any degree, certificate, or any school qualification, any technical qualification we get, as with all UK universities, we run them through a system called ECTIS. It's a website called ECTIS, and they check the equivalency of international qualifications against UK qualifications. But generally speaking, you know, Kenyan students, I never really have any challenges with meeting entry requirements to join our courses. Okay, and next question.
So the next question, I think I'll take this one. Is it possible to take on 2 programs at a time, like 2 degrees? I won't say this is not possible. You only take 1 degree at a time. Is that true, Nick?
Yeah. So obviously you can only study 1 course at a time. You can apply for multiple courses. So we have students applying for 2, 3, 4. I've even got like one at the moment who's applying for 5 different courses. So obviously you can only select one. We don't do like joint degrees, or like is quite common in the American system. So you have to select one degree. But the way UK degrees are structured is that they're modularized. So you have compulsory modules, and then you have optional modules. So you can create your own pathway through that course, and your own sort of spin on what that degree is going to look like in terms of your credits. But just going back to entry requirements again, I forgot to mention that on some master's degrees, you really have to have a background in that area. So, for example, if we take an IT computing related course, let's say computer software design or cybersecurity, you really have to have a first degree in that area, and ideally some relevant work experience. Where at postgraduate level, we're looking for a good work background as well as the undergraduate degree in a relevant area. So some courses are a bit more flexible than others, based on the technical skills, basic skills required. Okay, any other questions?
So I'll go to the next question. This one is from Arwa Jones. Hello, do you have age limits for somebody to pursue a master's degree?
Sorry, could you repeat the question, Philip? I didn't quite hear you.
She's asking whether you have age limits for people who want to pursue their masters.
Oh, age limits?
Yes.
No, we don't. We don't discriminate anybody on age. But there is, as I mentioned in my presentation, there is a UK VI guideline on the visa that you shouldn't really have a study gap of more than 5 years between your first degree, your bachelor's degree, and your master's degree. So if you have got a longer study gap, then you need to explain why it's taken so long for you to do your master's. What have you been doing? Now, there's a way around this. So, like, if you, for example, work in the healthcare industry, or you work in, something technical like engineering, you're quite likely to have completed some sort of continuing professional development training or courses. So it's really good to list all of those on your CV. So it demonstrates that you've not been out of study, you've been in study. You might not have done a degree, but you might have been doing some technical work related qualifications. So it's really good to list all of those and go into some detail. That will help your case to argue why you've got a large study gap. But in terms of age, it doesn't matter. We don't care if you're 19 or 99 years old. We want to help you and support you in whatever you want to do.
All right. So another question is, do you have pre-master's courses?
Yes, we do. We don't call them pre-masters at University of West London. We call them extended. So we actually have something called the extended, and then we have the enhanced extended. Now, those courses are really designed for students where English isn't their first language, and they just need additional time to get used to academic writing skills and confidence speaking English. So I think, based on my experience of Kenya students, it's unlikely that doing an extended course is not really relevant in terms of the English language component. So it might only be necessary if a student hasn't achieved the grades that they expected for their degree. Life happens. People don't always pass their degree successfully. They can have personal issues, family issues that can interrupt their studies. They might have failed a module. So we won't completely reject you, but if you've got a third-class degree, we will accept you and encourage you to do a pre-masters or extended, as we call it.
So leading me to my next question, this one is still from Joy Sarua. She would like to start her MBA. Advice on the fees kindly, and any scholarships, any payment plans that you have.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah, studying in the UK is very expensive. I am aware of that, but it is an investment. So don't just look at the short term, look at the long-term picture. Um, so we have a scholarship called the International Ambassador Scholarship, the value of which is £1,000. It's merit-based, but it's relatively easy to get if you're prepared to put in the effort and write the support statement that's required. There's a separate link on our website to apply for that scholarship. £1,000 isn't a lot, but it's helpful in terms of covering your initial travel costs to get to Kenya to the UK. There are other scholarship schemes out there, and maybe Philip, you might, SI UK might be a better resource than me for that. So off the top of my head, if you talk to British Council, they will have scholarships, and also you've got the Chevening Scholarship, which is a fully funded scholarship program, but you generally have to be very strong academically. At the moment, we've got, I think, 2 or 3 Chevening scholars in the university, and it's fantastic. One of the girls we have on that scholarship is from Ivory Coast. So it's possible. You've just got to apply for these things. We are introducing, it's not been officially launched yet, but we are offering an early bird sort of incentive. So if you are serious about joining us, what we want to do is encourage you to pay your deposit to secure your place as early as possible. So if you do that by the end of May, then we are offering an additional £1,000 bursary, discount, whatever you like to call it, off the overall course fees. So potentially you get £1,000 for the scholarship and £1,000 for the bursary for paying the early bird fee. Now, if you're in a good position financially and you're able to pay all of the course fees up front before the start date of your course, then we will automatically give you a 5% rebate on the total fees. So that equates again to just under £1,000. And that's worth doing as well. So we haven't officially announced the early bird, but as soon as it's confirmed, I'll let Philip know and the SI UK team, and they can let you know, or you can contact me directly. But like my father always told me, if you don't ask, you don't get. But please manage your expectations. There aren't that many fully funded scholarship opportunities in the UK. So my advice is, really seriously consider the financial implications, the investment that's at stake coming to the UK. Only apply, only come if you can afford to. You don't want to be in a situation where you scrape the money together and then you run out of funds within the first 3 months. So don't forget as well, when you apply for your visa, you imagine you've demonstrated your funds for covering the course fees, deposit, etc. You've got to demonstrate to the UK government that you've got enough money to support yourself for the duration of your studies, and that amount of money is a fixed amount. At the moment, it's £12,006 for students studying within London. It's quite a lot of money, and in order to get the visa, you've really got to be able to demonstrate that you've got those funds in your bank account. They can be in your bank account, or they can be in your parents' bank account, or a partner if you've got a husband or a wife. So it can't be in your uncle's bank account, and it can't be your dad's company's bank account or your mum's company's bank account. It has to be in a personal bank account, ideally your personal bank account, and the money has to sit there for a minimum of 28 days. It has to mature for 28 days before we will issue the CAS, the Certificate of Acceptance of Studies, which is the document that you need in order to apply for a visa to study in the UK.
Then I have this one from Joyce again. She's asking, do you have any courses that allow master students to come with their dependents? Apparently, some universities have research courses and dependents are allowed.
Yeah. So we've debated this. So there is a qualification called like an MPhil, which is basically a master's of, it's like a more research-based master's degree. So it's kind of it's a loophole, a way of getting around the immigration laws, bringing dependents by offering these courses. So there are some universities now that are just rolling out these degree courses in order to be able to attract students so they can bring their dependents. So we have discussed it, debated it, and the conclusion is that we don't want to do that because we feel that it might be a red flag to the UK VI. They might just see it's a way of circumnavigating the visa rules to bring students in. And we don't want to do that. So unfortunately, we don't offer a master's level research program. PhD, you can bring your dependents. But like I said, the policy might change. So let's see what happens politically in the UK, and just follow the news, and I can update you if there's any changes.
Thank you. I have another question from somebody by the name Marcy. She's asking, what are the employability rates in West London after postgraduate studies?
Oh, sorry, Philip. Can you just say one more time, please?
She's asking about the employability rates among, this one I guess, among your alumni. Do you have such kind of data?
Alumni, about our alumni.
The employability rates among the
Oh,
students who have gone
employability.
Yes.
Employability. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so because we're in London, this is where all the jobs are. I mean, myself, I didn't graduate from UWL. I graduated from a regional university in the Midlands, in Nottingham. And like when I graduated, I couldn't get a job in Nottingham. I had to move to London. This is where all the jobs are. So it's not surprising that any university that's located in London have really high success rates for graduate employability. So 98% of our students go on to either further study or they go into work within 6 months of graduation. So we do a lot of work to track, where our students end up, and we have some fabulous success stories. I can't bring any off the top of my head for Kenyan students because we have so few. And generally, when students have finished their degrees, they just want to get on with their lives and focus on their career. So they tend to forget about their university. So it's a really hard thing for us to track. But please rest assured, there are lots of great opportunities here. It's the networking. You've got to remember London is a global city, so there are people, companies all over the world located here. So you do not know who you're going to meet, even on your course. Whatever course you're studying, you're going to be with other students from not just the UK, but other countries. And you don't know what networking and employment opportunities that they might present to you as well.
Okay. Now I have a question from Wallace. He is requesting that you expand on the support offered to ongoing students at the university through their alumni. I think this is in regards to maybe networking, etc.
Yeah, so what support do we give to our alumni? Is that what you're asking, basically?
Yes.
Yeah, so not as much support as we'd like. I'll answer this question very honestly. The whole purpose of university alumni departments is, of course, it is to celebrate the success of our students, but it's also about encouraging students who have gone on to great successes to reinvest in the university or contribute in some way, whether it's their academic voice or some financial contribution to the academic departments. There's a lot more that we could do. So I think sometimes I think just myself, my own experience, your course mates, it's the relationships that you build with who you study with. that is your peers, your alumni group, and it's really up to you, really, what you do. You know, the university is not going to put a job on your lap. You know, you've got to really chase and fight for it and compete. You know, it's a very competitive job market wherever you are. But the other thing I would say is, although you know, there's no guarantees when you've got a degree from any institution about walking into a job, is what I would say is don't underestimate the life skills that you're going to gain from studying another country and being in a global city, because you're going to learn so much passively. You know, it's not just the subject area that you're studying. It's, you know, it's the culture, it's the environment, it's the architecture, it's the history, it's the people that you meet and what you learn from them. It's just going to make you a much more well-rounded person, more self-confident, and it just give you more credibility in the job market having studied abroad than if you decided not to study abroad. So it's a very common scenario where students leave their home country, come and study in the UK, and then some want to stay in the UK, and there's routes to doing that, but a lot actually want to go back to their home country and bring all those skills and all that experience and that knowledge and start their own businesses or get involved with other projects to help improve their own environment or economy. So everybody does it for their own individual reason, but you know, you have to, you know, you can take a horse to water, but you can't force that horse to drink the water. It's up to you to go out there and make the best of the opportunity. You're investing in it, so you know, do as much as you can, work as hard as you can. Okay, and anything else
Yes.
before we conclude? I'm conscious that it's coming up to 3 o'clock.
Yes, there's no other question, but then if we can maybe have closing remarks from you before I bring this to a close, Nick.
Yeah, closing marks. Yes, just really thank you all for joining. I know it's an overwhelming decision choosing where to study. My advice is don't focus just on the location. You know, look at the course modules. You know, think about what you want to do for your job, which university has the best fit for you. We might be that fit, we may not be, but do your research. Don't just go on one website and then get obsessed about one particular course or one institution. Don't throw all your eggs into one basket. It's really good to have, you know, a comparative insight to the different options out there. Have an open mind. I think it doesn't really matter that much where you go to study in the UK. The fact that you're going there and you're motivated to make those sacrifices and invest that money to do that, that is fantastic. And you're going to get the benefits wherever you go. You know, University of West London has some great advantages. It's London. This is where the job opportunities are. Our fees are relatively competitive for London-based universities. So I think that's a good selling point. But also, I just think it's the support you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of support as an international student because, you know, we really want you to succeed. So that, I mean, that's all I want to say is just, you know, do your research. Don't pay too much attention to rankings. You know, we're in the top third of UK universities, and that's great. And we get all excited when our ranking goes up each year, but it's just, you know, the best university may not be the best university for the course that you want to do. So Oxford and Cambridge are at the top of the pyramid, but they may not be the best institution for cybersecurity. They may not even offer, you know, that subject. So, you know, have an open mind and don't feel overwhelmed. And if you're under pressure financially to get the money together, the deposit, just remember, you know, there's plenty of time. We have an intake in January. Other universities do too. We have an intake in April as well coming up. So don't put pressure on yourself. Take your time, make a well-informed decision. And, you know, we look forward to hearing from you, both SI UK and myself. we're here to support you. So again, just to finalize this presentation, thank you again. My contact details are in this chat. Please reach out anytime. I'm very approachable and happy to answer any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nick. I want to thank each and everyone who's joined this session. And just as Nick has said, we are all here to support you. So I look forward to receiving your applications, even as we put through applications. And I like telling students, do not wait for the last minute. Start early. So once again, thank you. And thank you once again from wherever you are. Have a blessed evening. Those who are in areas where it's afternoon, have a nice afternoon. Bye for now, and thank you, Nick, once again for taking us through this.
Yeah, good afternoon from the UK and good evening to you in Kenya. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.